arts, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs. We got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
You can only get timely, credible, and reliable news on your shining supreme station. Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
It's a minute gone past 9 a.m. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin, where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. I am BABAFEMI ADESOYE, and here are the stories making waves across the world today. In Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has indicated plans to appeal a court judgment granting the request of two plaintiffs to use their temporary voter cards, TVCs. The Chief Press Secretary, CPS, to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Oyekomi, in a statement yesterday expressed the intention of the Commission to approach the appellate court. Justice Obiora Egwatu had given the order allowing the use of the TVCs while delivering judgment in a suit filed by two concerned Nigerians seeking the use of TVCs in the general elections in the absence of permanent voter cards, PVCs. The court, however, added that it was unable to grant Prayer 3, which was to allow every eligible voter with a TVC to vote because the suit was not filed in a representative capacity. Still in Nigeria, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has announced a recruitment exercise into its organization. The announcement is contained in an advertisement notice via its social media handles this morning. According to the announcement, the online application will be open for 2 weeks starting from 12th March to 8th of April. NDLEA called on suitable qualified Nigerians to apply for enlistment into the agency. Moving over to the foreign scene, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is heading to Paris to push for France to go further on joint efforts to stop migrants crossing the English Channel. Mr. Sunak and French President Emmanuel Macron will meet at the LC Palace alongside senior ministers in the first Anglo-French summit for 5 years. The UK wants to look at boosting police patrols on French beaches from where many small boats crossing live. A deal on returning migrants arriving in the UK to France is not expected. Super Eagles forward Terry Murphy was in action as Nice defeated Sheriff 1-0 in the first leg tie of their Europa Conference League yesterday. The Nigerian international, who was making his second appearance in the competition, was a constant threat each time he attacked. However, Nice netted the only goal of the game in the 48th minute through Amari to give the visitor a precious victory. The Super Eagle star could have put his name on the score sheet, but his long-range effort found the back of the net. That's all we have for you on this edition of News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you the analysis of the stories of the week. Please stay tuned.
You can only get timely, credible, and reliable news on your shining supreme station. Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
From news to sports, current affairs to entertainment, beautiful music, amazing programs, we got you all covered at Diamond 88.7 FM.
The major talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hurt Indomine? I mean, this is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, you're welcome back. It is the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. And then, of course, we have a lot of conversations to get into today. Let's get into the analysis of some of the major stories from the week. To do this with me this morning is Dr. David Hindero, a public analyst and social commentator. You're welcome, Dr. Hindero.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
Thank God.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get to the first story. The Federal High Court in Abuja yesterday ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to allow the use of temporary voter cards in the March 18 governorship and state assembly elections. Justice Obiora Iguatu gave the order while delivering judgment in a suit filed by just two concerned Nigerians seeking the use of TVCs in the general elections in the absence of the permanent voter cards as PVCs. And now, the Justice Iguatu said that the order was made on the grounds that the plaintiffs were duly registered and captured in INEC's database. The judge, however, said that he was unable to grant Prayer 3, which was to allow every other eligible voter with a TVC to vote because the suit was not filed in a representative capacity. Okay. INEC has, however, indicated that plans are underway to fight the court order. Well, before the next court conversation, let's react on this along right now, and then, of course, with people listening to us. Like many Nigerians, let's get your reaction on this. Just two people filed a case, and then the court gave them the order to go ahead and use their temporary voters card for the elections coming up on the 18th of March.
Yeah, that's democracy in action.
Okay. So, but what happens to every other citizen that do not have their PVC yet, but have their TVC?
Myself, at the point when I couldn't find my permanent voters card.
Yeah.
I had to search through the net with my details, and I was able to get my details.
Okay.
A kind of temporary that I can have a printout of my details.
Okay.
From my INEC server. I mooted the intention of going to the polling unit to present my details and say, "This is me. I want to cast my vote." And I expect that INEC should honor me and allow me to cast my vote, because it's all about technology. We're in a digital world. The craze of it has to be permanent voters card sometimes is laughable to a technological world. there's what we call temporary. It's called temporary. But as long as you are captured on your database and your beavers can recognize your face and your personality at the point of vote, I wouldn't see anything wrong in people using it to cast their vote. And I think some two of them who felt, well, I have the right to vote. Maybe they were denied the opportunity of voting during the
first phase of the
presidential
elections.
They now decided to approach the court, and court in its wisdom felt there's nothing wrong about it.
Okay.
And I wouldn't see anything crazily wrong about it. We have seen situations where people lost their permanent voters card. That should not disfranchise them from taking the opportunity of casting their vote. They can, as well as their fingerprint can be captured, their facial expression, the facial identity can be captured, and that qualifies them while they begin the process of obtaining their permanent voters card. And if you look at the lacuna that is caused by what's it called? The administrative activities of INEC. Sometimes it's so boring. It can be so frustrating that some people may not be able to leave their businesses to look at facing INEC and spend days and hours on the line, on the queue, looking for where how to get their permanent voters card. So it's also called on the INEC to know that this crave and craze for voters card may not really necessarily be a reason why people should be disallowed from casting their vote. You can use your voters card for any other thing, your permanent voters card for any other transaction as a Nigerian, since you are trying to merge all the deserts together to really know who is who around in Nigeria. So the decision of the court is not a bad one. It will even encourage more Nigerians whose voters cards have been stolen. Do you know that at the last election, people have opportunity of stealing voters cards even before they get to INEC. They couldn't distribute it. Now we have revelations of a lot of voters cards being seen in odd places, in thousands, odd places. Even some had to hijack the INEC office and steal people's voters cards from certain quarter to disallow people from casting their vote. We are not, even with the rates with which people casted their vote at the last election, I still believe very, very much that there's voters apathy. The number of people that voted and considering the number of people that registered, have Nigerians really casted their votes? Are they as envisaged? The rate at which we saw people going to register as envisaged that the voters this time, the electorate this time around will cast their vote and there will not be voters apathy. And I think if you have to compare the level at which people casted their vote, there's still voters apathy. And we used to hear 15 million votes of Mr. President Buhari from the north, something million votes of Akpabio from Akwa Ibom, something million votes of Tinubu in Lagos. A lot of big wins that comes with millions of votes we have seen by these movers that is not even there. And a lot of people, maybe could it be that people did not vote or they couldn't access their permanent voters card? So I think I'm going with the court. The INEC said they want to appeal the judgment, but me, I think it's a good one. It will allow so many people, as long as your fingerprint is recognized and your facial identity is
biometrics, okay,
you are a registered voter. So the issue of using the permanent or temporary shouldn't arise at all.
All right.
In the process of casting your vote.
All right. Let's quickly get something right. What exactly is the essence of the voter cards? The voter's card in the first place. Is the voter's card how do I put it now? Is it that it is something you swipe to vote, or it is just a document that carries your information as a registered voter?
That's it. When I casted my vote, because I'm a voter and I'm also an observer. But as a voter, when I casted my vote, they only recognized, they didn't swipe any document.
So you don't need your card to really vote, like
use
in
it
the
to
process.
identify
just to identify the owner of the card.
And then they asked me to put my hand for biometric capturing.
Okay.
And facial capturing. So what's the role? A very beautiful question. What's the role that the permanent voters card played? Almost nothing.
Okay. Well, judging by the true construction and interpretation of Section 10(2) and then 12(1) and 47 of the Electoral Act 2022, the Section 77(2) and 132(5) of the 1999 Constitution as amended, and bearing in mind that the bimodal voters accreditation system BVAS machine introduced by INEC only needs the thumbprint and or facial recognition to accredit a voter. Why then is INEC more particular about the PVC when the law only said voter's card?
Thank you. That's the beauty. That's why I always go with the legal position, judiciary position on this. Because permanent voters card, I just discovered that all my efforts on this permanent voters card has really resulted to almost nothing. I should be able to walk to any electoral office and say, I'm a voter, my number is number 335, and you check me by my biometrics and allow me to do my duty to the nation. So all this ulabalu of having to get the voters card from every angle.
So how much effort?
The man hour that has been wasted,
energy and the resources that would have been,
billions of naira has been wasted in man hour.
Okay.
For Nigerians to stay in INEC office, and some INEC people will be feeling that they are a god, and you'll be begging and bribing. It's so laughable. So I think I don't see any reason why voters card should be limited to permanent without allowing the temporary. Even a singular person that's carrying nobody can always approach and get himself checked, and you authenticate his checking, and you allow the person to vote.
Okay, yes, let's talk about some transactions we probably do online as users of the internet, and probably, let me say, some other modern platforms right now. Most of the times you are asked for your BVN, which is just a number, or you ask for your NIN, which is just a number. Nobody really cares about the document that carries your face,
and
your signature, or the number. So why can't INEC get to that stage
and even with your BVN, they will print out your details. You see your photograph, you see everything. I said I checked INEC register when I was looking for my permanent voter's card, and I couldn't find it. I eventually found it, but I couldn't find it at that time, and I was disturbed. So what I did was I logged into the INEC this thing, and I found my name, and I found me and my details, what was represented in my card. I would have made a case if I did not see that opportunity, because it was an opportunity I had to do my deeds. I printed it out. There's a place for printing. So I printed the details out, and I wanted to approach any polling unit with that details, and I expect them to do the same. So when I found this case, I just laughed. I said, oh, I would have been the one to go to court if I've been disallowed.
Okay, talking about the court going to, there's however a twist in the court ruling. It only allowed the two individuals who filed the suit, and not all Nigerians who have the TVC.
Because it's what you take to court.
Should there have been more clarity or a general ruling, or some kind of judicial precedent that would have accommodated all, or should we build on the first before further conversations?
Court is limited to your prayers, and the prayers of the two individual gentlemen is for them to be allowed.
Okay.
So any civil society can decide to go there on behalf of Nigerians. There's a precedent already by the court ruling. So, and with that, we wouldn't be disturbing ourselves sitting down with some people that can give us voters by permanent voters as if they are giving us ATM, but instead of them, they will create red tape They will create a bureaucratic process and allow it to take, so that we have a feel that they are doing big job and they are not really doing anything. But they want to, everybody wants you to have a feel, we are working here. That's what will happen in the case of the NIN. When all Nigerians started trooping it there, they want to cause, they are showing their naivety. They want to cause chaos. They want people to feel they are the only one working. So they want people to come troop into their office and they will put them on the and treat them like non-human. Just like it's happening in our banks now. You see Nigerians being put on the sun. They put them, they are out there in the sun. No bank, the banks are not even planning to host them, to treat them like human beings. They will put them there, they will, from morning to night, and we are looking at it as if it's normal. These are very absurd activities that makes it to look as if you are looking in a jungle. We are human beings, for God's sake. How can you treat your customer the way the banks are treating us? How can we treat our people the way all these people are treating us, including ANEC, including NIN? They want everybody to jump out their office all the time. All these things are very unnecessary, and it shows that we are not truly in tandem with the new reign in this life. That
okay, let's look at it from this angle. I do not want to believe
digital world that we are in.
I do not want to believe anybody, any reasonable person will get to work and then decide that, okay, I'm not attending to anyone from the general public just because I want okay, we have just 5 people now and I want them to become 50 before I start attending to them. I don't want to believe anybody does that.
Don't trust
But
Nigerians.
I think let us look at it from another angle. For all these new should I say innovations that come with so many of these parastatals, like the NIMC, like ENEC, like the banking industry itself, has there been enough and adequate training for each personnel to be able to handle this particular should I call it a gadget or platforms that as required for the convenience of the citizens? Have we checked that angle? That has there been enough and adequate training for each of the personnel to be able to handle this thing the proper way they're supposed to? Okay, let's take for example, during the election we saw videos where faces of corps members or returning officers were uploaded, instead of result sheets. Instead of voter result sheets, faces were uploaded. Was it an intentional thing, or maybe they could not handle it properly? Maybe they were not well trained, or they were not adequately trained. So let us check it from that angle. That okay, is it possible that this whenever there's a certain timeline and the government gives a deadline, and then everybody rushes to that parastatal, and then we see that okay, yes, just because this is a new invention, a new innovation, and then a lot of people keep going there every day, and then they get the traffic gets higher and higher all the time. Is it that, do you think it's just because those people working there just want people to come to rush to their office, or that they may not have the capacity to really handle what is new in their job description?
Don't let us overstretch the matter.
Okay,
Nigerians are highly territorial. Anywhere they found themselves, they want to be important. Anything you ask them to handle, if they have not shown that you are the lord of that place, you are not at rest. I've just told us that we are not in tandem, we are not respectful, we are not in tandem with the new waves of life, which is the digital world that we are into. And I want to say that sometimes some of these deadlines are very, very much unnecessary. Unnecessary, because this is a digital world. I just told you about my voting experience.
Yes.
My biometric was captured. I was seen, and I had to move to my vote. So the permanent voters card did nothing. But look at the effort that everybody put into obtaining their permanent voters card. Haven't been given before.
Even the resources expended by the government.
Resources. So sometimes our operators, system operators, they take advantage of exercises because of the crudeness. I don't know which language to use of the naiveness of our
system generally.
Our leaders.
Okay.
They don't really understand how this thing works. Just like a young man will tell his father, who is a crude young one who wants to cheat his father, will tell his father, I want to buy they asked me to buy 3 books, Bio, Lodge, and Logi. Just one book. He will spread it out in 3 phases for his
illiterate dad
and collect money from him. So they do that in government now. They deceive government and tell us we want to do voters card, we want to do NIN card, we want something billions. All those billions are unnecessary. We can as well as
all we need are numbers.
We can as well as walk into any polling unit and do our voting. We should as well as walk into any bank as with my NIN and do my banking activities. If my data is captured, I don't need all these bogus books and papers. I may not even need this thing. You can go to some banks now. You just put your fingerprint,
your thumbprint, without your ATM card,
and you get your money.
Okay.
So I think our territorial activities, we are territorial. We want to be recognized in whatever we do, and our dubious actions, in order to dupe the system, we want to give it a coloration as if we are doing something big, and that is what warranted most of the time for us to push and say that that's why they call it exercise. I have always said it. We don't need a population exercise. It shouldn't be an exercise. It should be, that's why you are employed. It should be a daily thing. When there is birth, somebody is battered, you record the person. When there's death, so you record the death rate, and you'll be able to plus and minus and get our population. You don't need a registration exercise. It shouldn't be an exercise. When election is gone, you should have a system where people will always go there and update. If they are 18 or they are ready to vote, they go and update their biometric data, and in the next voting system, they cast their vote.
Just like they walk into any bank to open your account anytime.
They should even operate their system in a way that they will attend to as many people as possible. But you will go there after election, you will see them roaming around, doing almost nothing, until they now call it election cycle. That after some 3 years, they will now begin the cycle and begin to tell government, we want something billion to do this, we want something billion to do this. Those are ridiculous things that are showing us as archaic country, which is not supposed to be.
We have a few reactions already. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a part of this conversation, you can quickly send your messages to this WhatsApp number or SMS to this same number, 0913-655-6864. Once again, the number is 0913-655-6864. The very first message that I have here this morning is from Kolade from Asadam. He says, anyone with voter's identification number should be allowed to vote. Temporary or permanent voter card has the same value. Our NIN should also be valid for voting. We need to move forward. Thank you. Yes, that's Kolade from Asadam. Thank you so much, Kolade from Asadam. Okay, while we expect other messages. Okay, this says, good morning, DBS crew. Honestly, after the presidential election, I can confirm that the PVC was a total waste of time, resources, and Nigeria's billions of naira used in printing it. The PVC was not scanned on the beavers. In fact, it had nothing to do on that day than to show it. We were accredited with fingerprints and face snapshots. So why is it mandatory to have it? I think all Nigerians should sue INEC on this PVC issue, like those guys did. It is high time we woke up in Nigeria. That's coming from Feromi from Riwolide. Thank you so much, Feromi from Riwolide. Okay, let's take a few calls. 0913-655-6952 is the number to call. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that. 0913-655-6952 is the number to call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Ibrahim from Gacombe.
Okay, Ibrahim from Gacombe. Thank you. Let's have you.
I commend your guest in the studio.
Okay, thank you.
May his wisdom not be diminished.
Amen.
My contribution is that you see all these that we are experiencing It's called administrative error. Because on the issue of voter card, I think it's supposed to be a continuous activity. So when it is 1 year left to the election, the registering voter card, it's not supposed to be like that. We are too manual in our system. I therefore encourage our government to do the needful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you. Okay, well, let's quickly pay some bills, and then when we come back, yes, definitely we'll continue with the Diamond Breakfast Show.
Kókó lára ọ̀tá le. Gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. Kára ó lè pè ń ban. Àtọ̀ra wọ̀, àtúrà pẹ̀sẹ̀, àtúrà dáadáa. Kẹ́gun ó tò kẹ́gun ó nà. Kára ó yá gágá. Ara ń roni tẹ́lẹ̀ kò roni mọ́. Tẹ̀ bá ti fi kára ó lè pè ń ban ra. Lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú eegun. Tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. Òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. Fi kára ó lè pè ń ban bọ̀. Káì! Ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. Action! Action! Ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀léegun. Làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. Kára ó lè pè ń ban lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. Agbára pọ̀. Kára ó lè pè ń ban. Tuyi Pharmaceutical Industries Limited. Àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. Kára ó lè pè ń ban. Ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. Kára ó lè pè ń ban. Ó kì í síbẹ̀. Kára ó lè pè ń ban. Mo rẹ̀ àtúrà dáadáa.
Everyone loves an upgrade, but with DSTV, you get boosted to a whole new level. Upgrade to more football and get boosted to the most heart-racing sports moments. Upgrade to your favorite shows and get boosted to emotions like never before. Upgrade to the best action movies and get boosted to high-octane scenes that make you shout, woo!
Upgrade your DSTV package and DSTV will boost you to the next higher package. Offer valid from January 25th to March 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, you're welcome back from the short commercial break. It is still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin. And of course, we've been talking about the court order that allowed just the use of temporary voter cards in the March 18 governorship and state assembly elections for two different registered voters who have not been able to find their permanent voter cards. And then the question now is that, okay, what happens to the other Nigerians that also have registered but do not have their PVCs? Can they also use their TVCs to vote? Okay, so doctor, in a nutshell now, what exactly do you think is wrong with the system, and then what is the way forward?
A lot is wrong with the system.
Okay.
I told you our territorialism tendency. We are highly territorial. You want to take advantage of the government all the time. If you are given an assignment, the next thing you want to do is how to take advantage of that system. And because of the limited,
must acquire something by all means.
By crude means. This because we usually have leaders that are not really educated. I'm sorry. I mean, they are not really. Let's call a spade a spade. They are not really. They don't have in-depth education about issues. We should have leaders that have length and breadth of knowledge. But most of our leaders don't have it. I'm telling you, people will come in Nigeria, occupy a place, frame something to bring out money. And because the leaders are more interested in the paparazzi of the case, they want the TVs, they want to show everybody this is what we have done. They release the money. What's the bogus money that they have released? What has it achieved?
Sorry.
With this permanent voters card.
Sorry, I once heard a minister of information, for that matter, saying we thank the president for bringing Facebook to Nigeria. We thank the president for bringing internet to Nigeria. So, in this case, are you saying that such knowledge or such I don't know what to call it.
We have leaders
is it the same thing as
okay, what about the leadership that decide to ban social media? They are, it's not a dictatorial system. They just decide to say, okay, this is not working again. You people should not talk. But if you are not talk, I told them, I said we do inquiry here, learning people here. We do what we call assembly. The same thing that we do in our assembly. We discuss social matter, we discuss business, we discuss everything. Then these are the things that we do on Facebook, on Twitter, It's still an assembly, an assemblage of people to talk about issues. You cannot stop people from talking. It's because of their limited knowledge. And the Western world, the developed world are laughing at us. That's why I say it's laughable. So most of the time, we need to really get leaders that know about things so that they will not be maneuvered. That is why you say,
can there be trainings?
They will tell you about cabals. They will say cabals took over places. We don't have leaders that read.
But sorry,
they don't read.
Another question. But over time, we get to hear, especially in the public service, that okay, yes, there's this particular training for 2 weeks. Training, they go to Canada, they go to Ghana, they go to so many countries for a particular training.
Come and see our executive.
What happens? What happens to that? What happens to that level of exposure?
See the chief executive officers of government agencies and parastatals and ministries. When they go for training, they are more interested in the food you serve, the hotels they will sleep,
the Esther code,
and the opportunity, the Esther codes, the opportunity to sleep and wake and flanger. They are not really interested in training. In fact, there are places where I've gone to trainings before where you see government agencies and officers telling you, please round up this training, let us rest, round up this training. They are only interested in the certificate that they will present to the office and tell you they have come back. So most of the time when they go for places, their leaders used to sleep, they sleep.
Okay,
when they go for meeting, international meeting, you see them sleeping, dozing off.
Let's quickly get this. Feromi from Iriwolede just spoke my mind, and I commend your guest. He really dealt with issues bedeviling Nigeria. People should be able to use the TVC. We have all seen with the last election that INEC failed in all areas. That's coming from Mrs. Fash from Tanke. And then she added, saying, and he did justice to that analogy of a pupil collecting money for biology book. Thrice. I'm not proud now anyway, but I did it with my illiterate grandfather. Okay, so you can imagine. Well, I have, this says, good morning. I agree with the analyst with the analysis by your guests. In the developed system, even the card are posted to you once you register. We only need a single card to accomplish our activities, not all this NIN, PVC, etc. But our system is always bastardized. That's coming from Bashir from Airport.
See, the young man just came up with another idea. you can just post it to people's email. Email their details, and they will go with their details. Anytime they need, they print it out and go. We will use our mouth. We are hypocrites. We will say we are embracing technology, but in the true sense of it, the technology will not be embraced. Just like it happens in the last voting exercise. After voting, people don't have access to, they don't have opportunity of uploading. So they will embrace the money side of that technology, but the working side of that is going to be jettisoned. And that is why the whole thing is still contentious. Because we will not embrace it in details. We are only enjoying the semantics. PVC, TVC,
let's
all manner of C's. And nothing will come out of it.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Zil from Cherry School.
Okay, Dr. Zil, let's have you.
I really hate my voice in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
Doctor, today you have made my day. God bless you, sir. In fact, this is what I want to be hearing from you, sir. This is how it's supposed to be. Because we have to speak the truth. We have a bunch of illiterates as leaders. And because they are there, we should expect these things. You can't get good products from something that is not well produced. And that is all we see. They are all, in fact, if we say they are big, we are deceiving ourselves. They have nothing to do with governance. And they don't even have basic formal education. Because if they have it, even somebody who is a school staff holder, that's what our constitution says, that you can become president of this country. It's not saying you must have a first degree or so. They are the one that is adjusting it the way they like. But if you have a very good school staff stuff that is sound, you will know your left from your right. They will not just tell you this and you will just jump. Look at the way they just jump into a lot of policies and other things they do that is now affecting them. It is about illiteracy and that because they don't know things, they can easily be deceived and they also deceive other people. So these are things that we need to know as Nigerians, that our problems cannot be solved if we keep recycling illiterate or package people as our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zeal. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, have this one saying, good morning. I commend the guests in the studio for his wisdom and knowledge. Please, INEC should allow anyone with temporary voter's card to exercise their franchise. After all, the permanent voter cards itself is of no use in the last election, and they both have the same data and information of the individual. That's coming from Alista from Odota. All right, thank you very much, Alista from Odota. Yes, this is from Mrs. Abodunde from Gomo. She says, I agree with the guest. Our bureaucracy in this country makes things difficult for the citizens. Our national identity cards have expiring dates. I was tempted to ask the man that gave me the card that, does it mean I cease to be a Nigerian? Now we don't need the card. All you need is just the number for most of all your transactions. The voter's card has nothing to do during the election aside from just citing it. We can use our number to vote in any part of the country as we use ATM in any part of the country. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, another one says, Okay, this is not about the program. Let's see what is happening on WhatsApp. 0913-655-6864. Okay, I think we have another call, and then, yes, we've actually flogged this issue to some extent. I think it is just expedient. We move over to another story. Okay, now there have been a back and forth argument on whether to trust INEC once again. Lots of discrepancies greeted the presidential elections. Political parties are still making the headlines with varying developments on how the conversation will look like in the court of law. A former INEC director, voter education and publicity, Oluwole Osaze Uzi, yesterday said confidence in the electoral body is at an all-time low.
Very well.
A former INEC director. The conduct of the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections has been widely criticized as falling below the expectations of Nigerians and stakeholders at home and abroad. Okay, judging by the conduct of the last election, has INEC truly done to the spirit and confidence that Nigerians have on it?
Sincerely speaking, we have a system where people will stress their public relation person. Because you have to begin to pan a bit all manner of things to get the proper shape and get people to really appreciate you. Even what you have done is not appreciable. I was feeling for my brother at INEC, the PRO person, and they have made his job very. I don't envy him at this time, and the national PRO person. Because all the promises that INEC actually made that made us to really trust this election has really been dampened. Whose cause, I can't tell. But sincerely speaking, particularly when it comes to the issue of beavers being able to transmit election material, because when people's vote seems not to be counted and they don't seem to count, it's really killed the spirit of young people. Because we thought if they had done the respectable thing of what they have told us, that immediately the election is casted, you will be able to get the beavers right to know the number of people who have voted, and you can't change that. After the election, you said you are going to snap it and transmit it accordingly, so people will know that there's no interference. Nobody changed figures. You don't even need to be painting fingers if you are truthful, but you see a lot of painted things at every side of the politicians, and INEC
in favor of all the parties, and not just one single party.
We cannot really say it's a singular thing until the court prove otherwise. So, but if they had allowed it to go the way it should go, haven't counted the vote, you write it. Counted vote for party B, you write it. And after the vote, you snap it and transmit it. We wouldn't have been... If anybody had lost, you would say, oh, I lost. And there's nothing wrong about losing. That means you try again. So, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. There was network problem, a lot of issues, and it has really affected. I hope young people will not be deterred from coming out to vote at the governorship election. But sincerely speaking, with what happened, I think a lot of work needed to be done by parties and INEC to reassure them that what happened at the last election will not happen. Why we allowed the things that happened at last election to be tried by fire. If you must come out in gold, you must be ready to be tried by fire. And that's the court. We let us assume the court will play the role of fire this time around, and try to, so that any president that is elected will come out as shining and excellent as person. So, but with the situation now, generally speaking, do any opinion poll, young men are really affected.
Okay, well, INEC claims responsibility for some glitches. Is there any tenable excuse for how the election played out, considering how sensitive it was?
If Nigeria,
and then talking about the over 400 billion naira that was expended on this election, should there have been any tenable excuse for how the election played out, considering how sensitive it was?
If Nigeria has spent over 400 billion on this election, and I think I came here after this thing when I said, look, when INEC was talking about logistics, I said, you can't tell us about logistics. What
was it? Had enough money, or what?
You have enough money, enough time, and you have the logistics here present. So the whole problem started with logistics, not getting to the polling station at the right time, wasting people's time. Instead of them to meet you there, they are the one waiting for you. That was the first problem. Are you telling me that you don't have enough money to employ drivers, vehicles that will take you there as early as 4 a.m. to various polling units or the second day, and you lodge these officers so that they will just wake up and go into their election activities directly? Are you telling us it's too much to bear? Are you telling us that you have not purchased enough data? Or the network is not, you can't predict the network and have a kind of backup so that there will be no mess up and missed up?
Maybe there were cases of charging problems too.
Just forget it. Are you telling us that you don't have power banks to power your problem, your issues? That we don't have enough money to do that? What are they telling us? It's not tenable. Anywhere in the world, international observers have told you are wrong. Nigerian local observers have told you are wrong, and that means you are wrong.
Okay, let's take contributions from our people listening to us right now. Yes, listeners, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a part of this conversation one more time, yes, the number to send your messages to is 0913-655-6864, whether WhatsApp or SMS, 0913-655-6864. And you can also call in to let us know your position about this particular angle. Can we trust INEC again? Can we trust INEC again? 0913-655-6952. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Zil.
Okay, Dr. Zil, calling back, okay?
You see, in fact, I still want to commend Dr. David this morning.
Thank you, sir.
What he said about INEC, nobody should praise INEC. That's why when I see some analysts, they will come to the studio there and be telling us whatever. I don't know, maybe they have any political affiliation. For some people, that's what they do. But let me tell you this. This current INEC in 2019, for me, I don't trust this INEC. And I will tell you why. Because this administration, on with their shenanigans, they actually planted a lot of politicians in this current INEC. And because they are supposed to be a non-partisan, they're supposed to be independent. They are not independent. That is why we are seeing this. Let's not deceive ourselves. INEC is not really independent. If they are, we will not be having all of this. Why should we have a professor? You see, to be a professor is not easy. But in Nigeria, we only see professors in Nigeria that behave like kindergarten. We see professors in Nigeria that behave as if they have not even gone to nursery school. It is because they are ready for manipulation and other things. They know what to do. But because of the way the politicians have been able to influence their people, look at when they want to even check them out from the house. The people will say this person belongs to this political party or that. What would they say? They will say no. Before it used to be APC, but now it's no longer. And they will still approve the person. So there will not be, we can't get it right because they will definitely manipulate things. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Zeal. 09136556952 is the number to call. Yes, INEC claims responsibility for some glitches in the past election. Is there any tenable excuse for how the election played out, considering how sensitive it was and considering how much was expended on this particular exercise? 09136556952. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from, sir?
My name is Zakaria Ishola from Moro.
Okay, Zakaria Ishola from Moro. Thank you for joining. Let's have you.
Commend the analyst in the studio.
Okay.
Thank you for your program. Concerning the issue that you are discussing here, let me tell you one thing. Even the Bible say, people without vision, when there's no vision, I mean, the people perish. Now, there is no vision in what they are doing. Anything that you don't have vision for, you are bound to fail. And this is exactly what happened to INEC. They have no vision of what they are doing. When you have vision of what you are doing, you know what to do. So these people, you can't just wake up one day and start up doing a fire brigade approach to the matter that concerns multitude of people. I mean, the whole country. So there is no proper planning. If you have proper planning, you will see that things will work okay. So the people that they are trying to imitate, they don't even learn from. You don't even learn from who you are trying to imitate. Because when you say you are trying to imitate British and US, you are not even doing what they are doing. So I think most of our leaders and the INEC and their leaders need to go for a reorientation. They need to go for a special training. Both the professor, both the INEC chairman, I say, let them go for another training so that they can know what to do about the matter that is on the ground now. Otherwise, they should know that they have failed Nigeria, and there's nothing they can say that anybody will agree, except those who do not know what they are doing. But thank God for the man in the studio there. I think this man is a unique person. So he knew everything about what they are doing. Like most people know, so they should know that if they don't go for proper training, they will be failing us at any time. And if we be spending such kind of money, and at the end of the day, you will still see this kind of thing happening, I think it's not worth it. So they should try and go for training. They should send INEC chairman and all their commissioners to go for a refresh training so that they can know what to do for people. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Zakaria Shola from Moro. Okay, we have this message. This says, good morning. INEC needs to improve on their logistics. Imagine getting to a polling unit with a CT around 12 noon on the transmission of results. I think we still have problem with our infrastructure backbone, just like the problem we are having with transfer on our banking transactions. My fear now is that I hope the politicians will not use judicial process to frustrate the remaining election with the various courts' judgment coming from Olatinwo from airport. All right, thank you very much. And this says... okay, that's a picture that's not a part of the program. Well, our time is far spent. As much as the time is of essence, is never our friend. So, well, we'll just be saying that this is just the size of our package for today on the Diamond Breakfast Show. Special thanks to everybody that contributed this morning. Yes, your contributions were welcome. Yeah. On the calls, and then of course on WhatsApp and even SMS. Thank you so much. And then a very special thanks to our guest for coming this morning, our analyst, Dr. David Hindero. We hope whenever we call on you again, you will definitely oblige to be here.
Always.
All right, thank you very much. And then of course, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we need absolute peace in Nigeria all the time. So as much as a lot of us may not be happy with so many things going on, please let us always embrace peace and of course the rule of law all the time. So yes, for me, my name is Babafemi Adesoye. I'm wishing you a very beautiful Friday and a wonderful weekend ahead. Good morning, and please stay tuned to Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. Bye for now.
The The major talking point in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we play